get you into a storefront. So you're not working from home, but you have your own office space,
Well-
your own working environment.
That's good, but I'm just beginning, and I'm not quite ready for that yet. I will next maybe year or so, but it's working fine for me right now. Right now I'm alone, so, you know, all the work goes to me. But I'm looking to help others, you know, as I grow. I want them to grow with me. We need
How do
to
you advertise? How do people know about what you're
card
doing?
by cards. I don't do modern technology, so I just do me. And it's working. We need to buy more in Kent County, and we should buy more. We should support the businesses that are already here. If we'll do that, they'll grow, they'll hire. Acme's about to expand, they're gonna hire. If we'll all take part of that, you know, we can't get everything we want here in Kent County, it's just a small place, but if we'll all take part in buying here in Kent County, I think it'll work. I think it'll create jobs, you know, but we have to start here. We have to start here.
I think it's interesting that you said how you don't, advertise on more, I guess, modern, contemporary platforms. You know, that could very well, because I can't imagine how many businesses are in the community that are like yours, who in terms of, perhaps putting an advertisement in the Kent County News or on the Chestertown Spy, they may not necessarily know how to go about doing that, but if we could promote some type of, I guess, working off score, have some type of central body that these business owners who start up their business by themselves, they're working from their own front, that they can approach to get that advertising help, because I'm pretty sure being able to advertise in some of these platforms that everybody's going to, like your Chestertown Spies, your Kent County News, figuring out a way to, get a post on Facebook or something, I'm sure that would really help your business, really promote who you are and also what you're trying to do with your business. So maybe, that's probably a discussion that we could have. How can we create some type of I guess, body that helps these new started businesses promote themselves?
Along the lines of helping existing businesses, the gentleman from Chestertown Lumber said you have some ideas for us on how to create a more positive business environment, just in general.
Well, I've heard a lot of good comments, dealing with others, the golden rule, if you will, Vince, and locally, I think that's a great idea. But to be honest with you, that's why I'm here. I think you guys have a tough road to hoe here. For me, my products are simply, get them in from one vendor, ship them to another customer. It's not so much haircutting and like a service-oriented problem, which is population-based.
Right.
That guy, to do more business, he's gonna need more people. Get more people, you gotta have more jobs, more stuff for them to stay here. My thing is like the guy with the washing machines and dishwasher store. His customer, my customers, they know before they walk in the store, they're paying 6% more before they even walk in than they could if they drove 35 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the county governor's gonna do about that. I don't think anything, we've gone so far as designate certain Fridays and Saturdays and everybody's, we'll pay the tax, advertise that in-store thing.
Yeah.
What that does is take 6% raw to the bottom line,
Yeah.
which is,
That's your
You know,
margin,
you gotta bring your own lunch, cause that's it.
yeah.
So it's a tough thing here.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here listening.
Todd,
Yes, sir.
when I was building an addition, my brother was helping me, and you always hear about how things are cheaper elsewhere. I went to Todd, gave him a list of what I was gonna buy, and I was amazed at how fair the price was, and we did great business together, right? We went
Yes, sir.
right to work, things were instant,
Yep.
if I needed a special order, and I did the same thing with Ed, always got my stuff there, and I
That
think.
doesn't work.
Huh?
That doesn't work with the general population.
But here's the thing, if we're telling our stories and somebody's listening, like, you think it's cheaper to go out of town all the time to get something? You know, it's not always, it's not, and it's definitely horrible for our local economy because those dollars get spent and re-spent. And what Sam said is right. If we help one person that we know who wants to expand their business, and here's how we do it. People come to town hall and they say, hey, I'm trying to start a business. Well, Score's right upstairs next door. The gentlemen are there on Tuesday. Boom, there's an appointment, and that's how things happen. It doesn't happen always on a grand scale. This is a great idea to have this meeting. But all you're doing is exchanging ideas, and there's gonna be an idea here tonight that's gonna work for somebody. And I don't know who it's gonna be for. It may be for all of us, but Todd's right. How do we battle this
Well, I,
6% sales tax when Middletown's so damn close now?
and I agree with both of them. I mean, this man made a great point as well as you do, but it is the common, thought, I think, of the general public,
Absolutely.
that it's, I can say money going up the road. Thank God there's enough guys like you and, you know, hundreds of other county
You know,
papers.
it's just thing you were saying, Middletown. People, federal government pays you 56 cents a mile now if you're getting mileage from the government. And they'll drive all the way to Middletown to buy something that's $2 cheaper, and it's costing them $10 to go up there and come back. But it's hard to get that across to people that they could just as well, and their time has to be worth something. I mean, if they go up to Chestertown Lumber, it's a lot closer than those.
True, but while they're up there, they're getting a chance to eat a meal that they don't normally eat at.
Mhm.
They're getting a chance to buy a dress that you may not be able to get, or you know, whatever. I mean, there's so much more population center, there's so much more stuff that they have the option that they make an excuse.
Well, I think we have to recognize that too. And
Yeah,
30
I mean,
years
that's-
ago, when I retired from the state police, I went to work for Dixon. They were desperate for people, not just because they hired me, but they really were desperate for people because they didn't have the workforce. The high school was almost twice as big as it is now. So we have a shrinking population of those people who are consumers. I mean, after you get 65, you don't consume as much. You know? I mean, I'm driving an 11-year-old car, and it's driving fine. I don't have an urge to buy a new car, but if I was 35 and I had twice as many miles on the car, I would consider doing that. Yeah, that's why I'm saying we're constrained by the population that we have, but we got to do a better job of getting people to come here, and the people who are here staying here, get across to them that they're not necessarily saving money by going to Middletown or Dover or wherever they go. Certainly not going across the Bay Bridge. I don't know how they ever figured that's cheaper to go across there.
You may get a trip. And people go to Middletown, that's not just for Walmart. You hit every store in the radius, so I mean, you really do save because you wait 2 weeks to go and you get everything that'll probably stuff the fridge for a month. So
And I think we need to recognize there's a
for
lot of
one
folks.
thing you don't save, but when people go like that, I mean, you are saving.
Yeah, when you shop in bulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, people, again, it goes back to employment. When you have service jobs and people working 20 hours a week, there's limited resources.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, if you have limited resources, you have a family, you're gonna go where you can get the bulk of what you need. And the bulk is, even if driving to Delaware might be, cost you $10 more, but if you go there and you pick up the bulk of the things that you need at a much more reasonable price, people are gonna continue to go there.
If you're only working 20 hours a week, you got plenty of time to drive to Middletown.
Yeah, but I guess my point is, we need to have more jobs that are full-time jobs that are paying better
You gotta make
wages.
it work.
That's what's gonna have to happen.
I was just thinking, that maybe a billboard, saying, you know, you can shop in Chestertown instead of spending a half hour, or whatever, going to Middletown, to make the point along the road.
This gentleman in the back, the Sears case.
Back in the 60s, before the big computers, before everything else, we lived in New Jersey, we're from New Jersey. And New Jersey was one of the first states that had a sales tax. And 67, 68, the inner cities were going down. New Jersey came out with what they called an enterprise zone.
you shop tax-free in a certain store or a certain area. And when I tell you it was from store to store to store, it is the truth. Macy's was here and they charged, I think then it was 5%. The people that owned the store next to it were eligible for the enterprise zone. They didn't have a sales tax.
How did they determine who got taxed at what rate?
That was, well, it was the inner city. Now, what I'm getting at is in the blink of an eye, the state could come down, and I'm not asking for zero.
Yeah.
I would say 3%, 50% would change my business owner.
If the state were to lower the tax, the sales tax?
Right, the state would collect more taxes at the end, because there'd be less business going out of the state. And you would have an increase in productivity here. It would take absolutely nothing for the state to do it, absolutely nothing. The problem would be minimal, absolutely minimal.
Interesting suggestion.
I always say Delaware has a sales tax. It's a mercantile tax.
It's a merchant's tax.
It's added before the final cost. They can't get away with not, I mean, the government only operates
There's a
on
tax-
taxes.
There's a tax on the inventory,
Yeah, we
And,
got rid of that a long time ago here.
okay?
yeah,
The
and
tax
that's,
on the inventory is paid by the company or by whoever it is. Now, how the individual merchant gets around it, that's up to them. Okay, I'm tied into a national corporation, so I have to say that whatever that refrigerator is in Dover is the same price here. Sears is paying the merchant tax over there.
and a delivery charge.
That's neither here nor there. I'm just talking about the tax.
Mhm.
And here, I have to charge a sales tax. I can't not charge a sales tax.
Right.
I mean, I would have been out of business, well, I'm here 18 years, I would have been out of business 17 years ago if I said, I'll put the tax in. It just would not, no, it just won't work.
Reverend Nelson?
But a big part of that enterprise zone development is also giving tax incentive to the businesses that are in that area, so they can stay there, that people can have jobs, to be able to go shop in these places at lower tax rates. I think the town needs to decide just exactly who it wants to be. Are we gonna be a town that is going to expand and allow business to come in and grow, or are we gonna be a service community? And if that's the case, then let's come right up front and say, this is who we are. These are the opportunities that you can have within this context. And look within that particular context to see where we can grow. I think sometimes the town is not quite sure what it wants to do.
Yeah.
We, on one hand, we wanna say we wanna grow and expand and have jobs and economic development. But on the other hand, we wanna be this bucolic tourist center and retirement community. I think that's something that council and mayor needs to really focus on in the development of this.
And the town can't do that alone, obviously the county has to be a
That's
part of that discussion, because that's where, a lot of the issues, come from.
Right.
Is there any working group or any dialogue between all the towns and Bernadette? Because we have one person who's directly responsible for recruiting businesses and industry to come to Kent County, but the way that the relationship between the town and county works is that one hand washes the other. So just because jobs that are created in Chestertown, it doesn't necessarily mean that only Chestertown residents are going to be working for those positions. You're going to have people coming in from Betterton, people coming in from Rock Hall. You also have people in Chestertown who are going to those places to work as well. So economic development really helps everybody in
Everybody,
this
yeah.
entire community.
Yeah.
So is there any dialogue that we have regularly
It's a council of
between
governments.
council
Mhm.
governments?